Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Anuna, and today I want to talk about why I sit in silence. If you have been around here for the last video, maybe you have tried this 20-minute meditation that I did in remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If not, you can go back and rewatch the video. Today I want to talk a little bit more about why I love to sit in silence and why I want to share, or why I shared this practice with you in the first place. So, well, me, first of all, I coming from a, let's say, household that has been quite chaotic in my childhood. Not that there was no love, but it was just also unregulated bodies, I guess. And I guess that is where it stems from, that my own nervous system is not very easy to regulate, and that means that I'm often, and I think many of you know this phenomenon, being in inner unrest, or not being able to focus very well, or being anxious, feeling tense, and these kind of things. So what is actually our nervous system? So we have different kind of nervous systems in our body. So one is the central nervous system, everything that is connected in our brain. And we have the peripheric nervous system, and to that includes as well the autonomic nervous system. And this nervous system, you can imagine it going through all of our body, and it has kind of two parts. So one part is the sympathetic nervous system, and this is activated when we, for example, are in stress situations. It helps us to react fast. And then the counterpart to this one is the parasympathetic nervous system. And this part of the nervous system is actually activated when we are calm, when our mind is clear, and when we are in a sort of relaxation. So these two, they should be kind of in a balance, but not in a, as you might imagine, 50-50 balance. It is more like the parasympathetic nervous system should be, let's say, the baseline. Both should be in a state of dynamic, oscillating state that they can go back and forth in between, and the sympathetic nervous system can be activated, or is only activated actually when it is genuinely needed, and then it would quickly return to rest. What are signs that your sympathetic nervous system is activated more than it should be? Some of the signs are, for example, a high blood pressure, digestive problems, feeling tense all the time or often, or you get sick very often, like your immunity is weakened, or you're anxious, irritable, you have brain fog, or poor memory as well. So what are signs that your parasympathetic nervous system is activated as a home base. So for example, your digestion works properly, your immune function is strong, your cellular repair and healing can occur. Then one very important thing is that your hormones like cortisol, they are at a low level. And all in all, you have like a feeling of being clear and well connected. And yeah, you have a feeling or sense of calmness. And this at the same time, our anxiousness, our restlessness, heedlessness, what is described in Arabic as refla, the racing thoughts as well, is what I experience personally as our barrier towards being close to Allah. Because what does it mean to be close to Allah? I actually want to do more research on that and to see who has written about that. But from my own experience, it is the feeling of peace. It is more something that is not described so much with logic, but more an experience, like being at peace, being blissful, being open. Also, it has to do with openness. Being able to trust, and all these things can happen more likely if our nervous system is at rest, at peace, in the parasympathetic state. So how could we get there? How can we lift this veil, this barrier that is between us and Allah? And this is exactly where sitting in silence and prayer comes in. So what happens when you really sit in silence, in this sort of meditative state, in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What happens here is a sort of neurological reset. That means that our brainwaves shift from beta waves to the more relaxed alpha waves. This is the same state that is associated with deep meditation, but also creativity, playfulness, and spiritual openness. And at the same time, the vagus nerve, which is the main nerve of the parasympathetic nervous system, it is actually a connection from up here in the back of your head, that goes down as a net and connects to many organs in your body. And this nerve is stimulated, and this in return sends a message to your brain that tells your brain that it is safe to be there, that you're not under threat right now. And in that state of safety and stillness, the mental chatter, it fades, and this gives space for connection and for awareness as well. So this is a space, or you are in a space then, where you can experience Allah's closeness the most. And at the same time, your nervous system is regulated, so that means you're also able to function, and in return to be able to do your chores that you have, your deeds that you have to do in this dunya. Ultimately, you can see yourself as a plant, which means you can water yourself, you can put the good soil, you can expose yourself to sunlight or rain. In the end, you're never truly sure what is gonna happen. You could grow, you could not. This is still, like, what I want to say is, beyond all that is your trust in Allah. Beyond all that lies Allah, because He is the only source, the only sovereign source that we depend on. But all these practices can put us at a baseline that make it easier for us to make this barrier between Him and us thinner, so we could more easily communicate with Him and be close to Him. I hope that this video could help you to go maybe a step further in your practice. Let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe you also have some ideas about this topic or some experience with it. And I love to see you in my next video.